Test, 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry for the false start there, but hello, Dr. Jim Palermo, Assistant Professor here at Gardner-Webb University with your MELS 605 Week 2 instructional video. I'm going to keep it brief, talk fast, but to try to give you the to-dos and the content for this coming week. It is week 2, January 24th to the 30th. About discussions in a minute, but the week runs from Tuesday to Monday midnight, and I'm making this video on a Tuesday morning after having read a couple of discussion posts last minute. I'll wait until you finish posting everything Monday to respond and to give you some feedback, usually Tuesday mornings, but then I will also start to pre-record some of these messages for you. Anyway, this week in your readings, Hersey and Blanchard. Hersey, chapter 2, what motivates folks? The summary at the end of chapter 2 says, if we're to understand, predict, and influence behavior, leaders, principals in schools need to influence behavior. You want your employees to do what you want them to do. Teach the curriculum, for instance. We must know what our employees really want from their jobs. Only then can we appeal to their strongest motivations and increase the probability of meeting both professional and organizational goals. Understanding your employees and what they want is the way for leaders to motivate and lead them. So some theories, some broad ideas there about motivation, as well as an interesting little video if you have time. Watch Dan Pink's 18-minute TED Talk on motivation. Then in Glickman, in the other text, well, chapters 4 and 5, and a response down below, dialogue response. Again, 2 responses for the motivation. Pick one quotation and tell why. For that one, you do not need to respond to another. For some of my discussion board posts, it's a one-way post asking you to respond to the text. In others, it is asking for a true dialogue. In the Glickman response this week, I asked that you post and respond to at least one other. Well, if we're running Tuesday to Monday class, would you please, for those dialogues and those discussions that are requiring that you have a true dialogue, would you please post your original response by Sunday night? Give folks Monday to respond. If you don't wait till the absolute deadline, that will help everyone and give you an opportunity of someone to respond to. In chapters 4 and 5 of the Glickman, he introduces an idea that has really worked for me, andragogy. Andragogy. I have to say it like pedagogy, and then it comes out right. The idea that adult learners learn differently than kids. Look into it and respond again and tell something from your own experience. But remember that you may have been a really effective teacher of children. Will you be a good leader and teacher of adults? They're different. How are you going to approach them differently, and how are you going to effectively lead folks as a building administrator, central office administrator? It was interesting listening and watching your videos, by the way. Thank you for your video introductions. A wide range of folks from all over the state. Many of them, most of you are site-based, that is based in schools, not in central offices or across schools, but and many of you on a pretty traditional career trajectory. So I think I know just where you're coming from, and I hope that that'll assist me in working with you. Several of you are coaches. Now, I needled you a little bit. My dad was a coach and a principal, and I want you to think about how coaching is both similar and different from being a principal in school, leading a school. How is leading a sports team different from leading a group of professional educators? A lot of similarities, some differences as well. So good for you, those of you who have had experience leading. And if doesn't have to be a sports coaching team. Maybe you've led the school play. Maybe you are choir director. Maybe you lead Sunday school. Maybe you are well. There are lots of different ways to lead. I hope as the semester goes on that you are thinking in greater depth about yourself and your abilities as a leader. So there are several tasks here I want to call your attention to also. Um, Later on in the semester, I'm going to ask you to go out and do several interviews and observe folks. And these are coming up in weeks 7, 8, 9, and 15. Some longer range tasks that may take some planning and some time. Please look ahead at these particular weeks, look at the assignments, and then start to schedule this time for observing others and interviewing the assistant principal. So I think those are the big, no, I want to give a shout out. Some of your discussion posts, all of them were good quality, but some of them are exceptional. Some of them really show some depth of understanding and application, taking the text, taking your own life experience and applying it. Amber Brown, I want to give a shout out. Your Hersey response with personal statement was thorough, well written, great citations, and anyway, that's the gold standard. If you want to see what you could do to perhaps improve a discussion post, look back and see what Amber has posted this first week. Thanks, Amber, and I'll try to give shout outs to everybody before the semester's out. You're all doing great work. Thanks, keep it up.